Hello, my dear students. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you're all fine. So, I'm doing this video in order to bring before you the CA Inter audit preparation strategy. So, whenever the syllabus gets completed, instead of following any blind approach for preparation, I'm going to let you know a strategy which could help you out in scoring good marks, that too in a less amount of time. So, it is always very important to have an approach. See, subject is not difficult actually. No subject is a difficult subject. Why? Because for getting passed in the examination, we should have one dedicated approach. Now, every subject will have its own strategy which you need to follow. So, I am going to let you know what are the key chapters which should never ever come in your choice list. So if you follow this strategy, yes, there is somewhat an assurance that I'm going to provide from my side that you will score good marks, and even there is a definitely a confirmation that you will get passed in the exam. So without any further delay, let us try to have a look into that preparation strategy. So coming to the chapter wise prioritization, I'm going to list down now a very few important chapters which you must be thorough. You should never leave them at all. And the chapters which I am going to tell you should never come in your choice list. As usual, those chapters are going to be number one, nature, objective, and scope of audit. Number two, company audit. Number three, audit report. Number four, audit documentation and evidence. Along with these four chapters, there are some dedicated four standards which we never should leave, which are going to be SA 501, SA 505, SA 510, and SA 580. So these are the chapters which are very frequently tested, and the minimum marks which you can expect from these four chapters along with these four standards put together, I'm talking about minimum marks, guys, it will be somewhere around 30. Now, if the time is so good enough, if you are so lucky enough, then there is a limited assurance actually where you can have a chance of passing in the examination also. I'm telling you once again, that is a limited assurance. So we have discussed something, audit versus review. Audit is a reasonable assurance, whereas review is just a limited assurance, which is far lower than reasonable assurance. So it's not actually a compulsory guarantee that if you prepare for these four chapters along with these four standards, you will get compulsorily passed. I'm not saying it, but if you are so lucky enough, if the time is in your favor, yes, you have a chance of that happening. Now, and one more suggestion I want to give it to you from my side. If you are not preparing for these four chapters, or if you are not preparing for these four standards, don't go and attend the exam. That's my humble suggestion. So why? Because these are so fundamental things that if you are clear with these concepts, you can analyze the questions related to other chapters also. So these chapters give you strong conceptual clarity. Try to cover every nook and corner of this chapter, of the four chapters which I have listed here, along with that four standards. So you should never attend for the exam without preparing for these chapters. Now coming to the next set of chapters, now I am going to list down those chapters which are actually very small in size, and that too there will be a compulsory question, very easy for our preparation. There is no difficulty when it comes to remembrance of these topics. So those chapters are going to be number one, audit in an automated environment. Hardly 7 questions or 8 questions will be there. So this, if you prepare, a compulsory question from this chapter will be there. You will not be able to find a question paper without a question from this chapter. Then we have the next chapter, which is fraud and responsibilities of auditor. So this is also such an interesting chapter, very small chapter. You will not take any struggle at all in its preparation, that to a compulsory question. Talking about the next chapter, which is audit sampling, smaller in size, significant weightage. Then we have analytical procedures. So these four are such a chapters where the content is limited, that to a compulsory question. So in the worst case scenario also, you can score 16 marks from these four chapters alone. Combined weightage I am talking about here. And even there are some attempts where from these four chapters alone, there were 25 marks also tested from them. Now adding this list of four chapters to the previous four chapters, that itself will contribute somewhere around 45 to 50 marks. So if you are very thorough with these eight chapters along with that four standards, yes, you have now reasonable assurance to get passed in the examination. Provided you should do the preparation very carefully, you should not leave out any content from these chapters. You should have a very strong conceptual clarity on these eight chapters. Definitely, you have chance, you have odds in your favor for getting passed in the examination. Now, having said that, I want to highlight two more chapters for you here. So the two more chapters which you need to concentrate a lot is the last two chapters, which are going to be audit of items of financial statements and also audit of various entities. Now, why I am saying these two chapters is in the recent times, from these two chapters put together, there is somewhere a weightage around 14 marks. And why I am saying this two chapters specifically is these chapters involve less of your preparation, more of your open mind, more of your common sense should be applied here for answering the questions from this chapter. And when I say these two chapters you must prepare, I am not asking you to mug up the content from these two chapters. If you are spending the time on these two chapters for the purpose of memorizing the content, for the purpose of by-hearting the content, then you are unnecessarily wasting your time. Then what is the strategy? What is the approach which I should follow for these two chapters? For these two chapters is one thing, you need to give a novel reading. Try to read each and every point. Try to digest the concept from that, and even try to visualize the things. And my suggestion will be try to prepare these two chapters as close to the exam as possible, almost close to it. Well, plan for the preparation of these two chapters at the end, close to the exam. Don't prepare them well in advance. Why? Because we are just giving a novel reading, so it will be much better. The closer you prepare to the examination, the better chances you will retain them in your brain. And also on the day of examination, when you go and attend for the examination, you sit and close your preparation. Assume that you are closing your preparation by 12 or you are closing your preparation by 11. You should be closing your revision only after going through these two chapters. So make sure that you are reading these two chapters. At the same times, you are not unnecessarily wasting your time and energy on by having the content from this. So we should be able to give a novel reading, analyze the things practically, able to digest the concepts, then go for the exam. That's all, guys. These are the chapters which never ever should come in your choice list. As I have told, what you are reading is not important. The approach which you follow for the exam is going to be definitely very, very important. Don't just go like a blind bull, follow an approach, then the results are in your favor. And one more thing, you will hear in the coming future from other people that auditing is one of the difficult subject, they say, but actually that is a myth. That is not a reality. So you all will have good conceptual clarity. And one more thing which I want to highlight here is question paper pattern. So the thing which we have in our favor, particularly for this auditing subject, is the question paper pattern. So I hope you already know it. 30 marks will be in the form of MCQs. 14 marks will be in the form of true or false statements. So almost all 44 marks will be in the form of you can say objective kind of questions without even going to the descriptive part. So now these 44 marks, Even if you don't memorize the things, if you have a conceptual clarity, if you are so sound and strong in your concepts, you have chances of scoring a very good marks. In the worst case scenario also, if you have so much of conceptual clarity, out of 30 you will be able to answer some 15 to 14 marks. Out of this 14 marks of true or false statements, some 7 or 8 marks you will be able to score it, provided you are having conceptual clarity, you have listened to the classes so well. So 25 marks you can easily score it from MCQs or true or false statements. Now all the effort which we have to put in our preparation is to score that extra 15 marks for getting passed, to score that extra 35 marks to get an exemption. So have this clarity in your mind. So people might say auditing is a difficult subject, auditing is a complicated subject. Those are all actually myths. Question paper is our friend, and if you have conceptual clarity, you are going to rock the exam. So this is what the strategy which I would suggest you to follow. So that's all guys, all the very best.